What if Excel could be a game? What if players from all over the world came together and battled it out to see who's the smartest and fastest user of Excel? What if tech gurus could finally be recognized for their skills? What if this was a weekly evening TV show? That's how Excel Esports was born.
Hello and welcome to the Microsoft Excel World Championships. It's finals day and we're down to our last 8 competitors. Now, if you're new to this and you haven't seen this before, you're going to watch the best Excel users in the world compete in head-to-head competitions and solve very complex cases in Excel in a 30-minute round. And it's a ton of fun to watch. But before we get into all that, I just want to quickly introduce our hosts here and our co-host today. So first of all, we have a very special guest, Johnny Thomas. Johnny works for Microsoft and is a product manager on the Excel team, so it'll be great to hear his insights today. We also have Oz Du Soleil, who's a Microsoft MVP, an author, and you can also find him over on the Excel on Fire YouTube channel with a ton of entertaining videos. And then we have Andrew Giglianovich, who's the founder of the FMWC event here, and also former competitor. So a lot of great insights from Andrew coming today as well. My name's John Alcampora. I'm also a Microsoft MVP, and you can find me over on excelcampus.com. Now, before we get started, we have a keynote presentation from another very special guest, Catherine Pigeon, who is the head of product on the Excel team at Microsoft. So let's jump over and hear from Catherine.
Hello, my name is Catherine Pigeon, and I'm a co-head of product for Excel at Microsoft. We are thrilled to see you at the finals of the Microsoft Excel World Championship. The Excel World Championship brings together the world's top Excel experts to show off their incredible problem-solving skills in Excel. That you're here today, each and every one of you have shown that you've got what it takes to win the grand prize. How you use Excel to solve complex problems under time pressure and making it look so easy, you're an inspiration to us all. We've built Excel to help everyone organize, analyze, and visualize their data, and you're showing everyone how that's done with style. Thank you for being so amazing at what you do every day with Excel and inspiring others to do the same. Good luck out there.
All right, we're back. And thank you, Catherine, for that great presentation. We're super excited to have Microsoft sponsoring this event. So, like I said, we are down to our final 8 competitors. We started with over 500 competitors, and we're down to our final 8 today in the round of the quarterfinals, semifinals, and then we're going to be playing the finals as well. So, Andrew, what have been some of the highlights for you throughout this event?
John, it's been a very thrilling exercise. So really, it was a huge amount of interest from our, let's say, core audience, from the players who were, taking part in regular stages of the Financial Modeling World Cup. But they were joined by some very strong players from outside the finance world, from people who are, let's say, using Excel from other fields. And we've seen that in the just right after the qualification round, quite a number of strong players who were constantly within the top 50 on the Financial Modeling World Cup rankings. They were out. They couldn't really make it into the grid here in the Microsoft Excel World Championship. And basically we're going to see a lot of new names, and we're going to see them right today. Yeah. So as for some games that took part, so we started with, we planned to start with 128 players, but our team was a little bit too generous to go for a little bit more wildcards that we expected, and there was 129 players. So one game was between the 3 players initially, but now these are the results from the previous stream, and quite some surprises took part there. So basically, out of 8 seeded players who were seeded based on the rankings in the regular Financial Modeling World Cup tournament, only 3 made it to the quarterfinals. So, and one of them is Andrew Ngai, who's the defending champion there.
Yeah, and then we got Joseph Michael Palisoc ranked 5th, Michael Jarman ranked 3rd, and so that means we've got five who might topple one of these giants.
Yeah, it could be an upset today. Johnny, what are you excited about seeing today? I think this is your first time commentating one of these events.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how these competitors tackle these challenge questions. There's a variety of skills you could use, approaches you could take, and I think time's going to play a big factor here because you've got to get all the questions done as quickly as possible. And so something that might be tempting to try out might not be the fastest route. So I'm curious to see where people kind of take shortcuts and try and jump ahead, because points and time are the winner here. It's not about finesse or how fancy your formulas can get.
Wow. Yeah, that's so true. A lot of strategy involved in these 30-minute rounds. And again, our players are going to be going head-to-head in these battles for the most amount of points.
Yeah.
And
I just wanted to add that going head-to-head actually is a tough format in terms of also luck sometimes, because the second seed, for example, Dim Early was kicked out. Like, he had a great run in his round 3 match. He got the second best result in the whole session that day, but well, apparently he was playing against Michael Holmes, who had the top results, and well, and he actually got to win Dim and get him out. So
yeah, it's going to be a fun day of competition for sure, and we are going to crown a winner today after the third round of competition. So that is going to be exciting to see. Passion prizes on the line, and let's jump to a video of our players and see who our players are today. All right, we're back and we're joined by all of our 8 players here today. Here's our finalists for today. Oz, what do you think about this final?
Well, we got 3 ranked people and 5 who aren't ranked, and I am looking for some upsets. Yes. I'm also
Michael Jarman might not be too happy about that.
Well,
Michael,
we'll see.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I can't say I agree with Oz. Hoping for no upsets until the final. But yeah, it's. I know there's a lot of people watching at home in Canada and the UK today, so I hope we can bring it home for the Jarman Army.
That's awesome.
There's a
if you're
whole
joining
world
us live on YouTube, definitely post in the comments there and show some love for Michael and any of your favorite players or who's ever represented your home country today. Definitely post and show them some love there as well. All right. And another ranked player, Andrew. Andrew, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. I'm awake, so that's good.
Brittany, are you?
For you, huh?
Yeah, Brittany, are you ready to topple one of these giants?
I am.
All right, that's what I wanted to hear.
I'm gonna make him fight for it at least.
Oh, don't back off. You gotta. This is game time. It's about to get started here. All right, and I noticed that we got the wrong Andrew here. The nice Andrew is right here. The diabolical one made 2 of the 3 challenges.
Well, the main challenge is going to be actually the third one. Not made by me.
Scary.
It's going to be a tough day, and it's going to be a lot of fun, too.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes. All
Michael
right.
Clark, how are you feeling? Late for you as well.
Yeah, not too bad. It's about 6 a.m. Sun's coming out, so almost ready to go.
All right, on. Okay, so it's a full day.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I think we'll get started with case number 1. So we have a video that's going to help us learn more about case number 1. We'll jump over to that and let's take a look.
Yep.
Welcome to the Microsoft Excel World Championship 2022. We are glad to present you, Elections Are Coming, a case for the quarterfinals of the competition, designed by Andrew Grigalianovich, the founder of the tournament. The king of a fictional country of Votelandia is about to resign and change the political system in the country towards a parliamentary republic. You are helping the king to model the possible election outcomes in the country and select the best possible voting system. Currently, there are 100 voters living in the country that cast their votes for 5 different political parties. However, in the nearest future, the number of voters will grow to 1,000. There are 5 levels of increasing difficulty available in this competition task and 3 bonus questions. You can get a total of 1,000 regular points and 250 bonus points for solving the bonus questions before your opponents. Levels 4 and 5 are independent of each other. They have approximately the same level of complexity but test different skill sets. If you get stuck on level 4, we strongly recommend moving to level 5. Plan your strategy wisely. Good luck!
All right, so Votelandia is here, and the competition is going to be fierce on this one.
Yes.
Johnny, you work in Excel on the Excel team. What do you think about a challenge like this in Excel?
Oh, I think this is a perfect example of how to use Excel to kind of get your work done, right? When it comes down to it, everything about Votelandia, this case, is counting stuff up. And I think that's kind of the fundamentals of Excel. The tricky part is what you're counting and the fancy ways you've got to count it, for lack of a better description. I'm really excited to see it as we get into the upper levels there towards the end. Gets a little bit more complex on what you've got to count and figuring out how to do it when the votes are just colors instead of letters, or when you've got 1,000 to deal with. I'm really interested to see. I think that will be kind of the trigger point here for who's winning the matches, is those last few levels.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a challenge. I like how you said the analogy of counting things up in Excel. Andrew, is that kind of your idea when you created this case? It's a very good, well-rounded case for Excel skills.
Yeah, I think so. My key goal there was to test different types of skills, and you really see that on levels 4 and 5. So if you are not too good on one of these levels, go to the next one. So these are 2 different challenges that people might face. The first 3 levels might be more for warming up, and then the final 2 will be the ones that's going to decide the winner.
All right, so we're gonna bring the players back.
Yeah.
Hello again. All right.
All right.
Seen the video and it ended with plan your strategy wisely.
Yeah, the only thing I can mention here as a case author is that there are 3 bonus questions, and the bonus points will be awarded to those players who finish them first within each pair of players. So basically, there will be 4 bonus points for each of the awarded out of 8 possible. So in each pair, only 1 player will get the bonus mark. Cool.
Okay, great. And is there any questions from our players on the assignment?
All right.
Yeah, I think there was a question earlier on level 4. What rules apply for level 4? Is it like the same as level 2 or something? Or?
No, you just need to calculate just the number of votes cast for each party there. So no points or something.
And for level 5 as well? That's
Yes,
the same?
just the number of votes.
So level 2's rules only apply to level 2?
Yeah, every time, like, you know, every level, that's a different strategy. So they're basically trying different ways how to make voting more efficient or less efficient. So trying different voting systems in the country. Again, they are modeling the future. They're trying to see what's going to happen as they go from monarchy to parliamentary republic.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I saw a big nod no when the question was asked, do you have any questions? Matthew nodded a vigorous no. He is ready to get started.
He is ready. If everyone else is ready, then let's do it. Any other questions before we go? Okay.
Go. And I will count it in 3, 2, 1. Go.
Here we go.
Let's see. You know what I think, yes, there's calculation, but when I looked at this challenge, I see organization as an issue because there's so many columns here. Now, how do you work? Right? That's what I'm going to be looking for.
Let's jump into Andrew's screen first, and we'll take a look at all those columns. And you can see on some of the player screens here a lot of colors too, a lot of cells with colors in them as well. So it looks like we have Andrew's moving down to the 2nd level already, I think.
I think actually he's up on the 4th level.
Yeah, that's the 4th level. Yeah,
he's already got points. We've already have points scored from Andrew, and we also have Brittany's our kind of leader here to start. Let's jump over to Brittany's screen and see what she's done. The first level is very easy, and it's worth 120 points. So it's essentially, like Johnny alluded to earlier, just really counting. So if you have a formula to count,
we're going to expect a lot of quick points on the board here.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
First level, and maybe even the 2nd level.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yes.
And then,
Brittany, go ahead.
I was going to say, then it gets tougher pretty quick, and it'll probably slow down a bit here. But we do have a lot of points on the board. Andrew also has 170.
Yes, I think
Michael Clark as well.
Brittany, is this Brittany we're watching? Brittany's got an interesting strategy there. I don't know if you saw what she was doing. It was a bunch of find and replaces. I think what I saw was the parties are coded with letter codes as well, B, W, R. And I think what Brittany was doing was saying replacing the blue whites because there's codes that all contain a B. She wanted everyone to be a unique letter. I think she swapped the BW into like an A or something.
Yes.
She could easily find it.
That's how I thought about it.
Impressed she identified that so quickly.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my initial thought. Yeah.
It'll simplify it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's moving quickly too. So she's got the bonus, and we're over to Michael. Sorry.
All right,
so Michael Clark also has 170 points. He scored the bonus, and now he's down on level 2 as well. Didn't use the find and replace strategy there.
You see what he did use? And Andrew Ngai is at 290 points already. And Palisoc, 280 points. Let's look at Palisoc.
Yeah.
What's he doing? Oh.
Get over to Michael. We have Matthew here. He's on level 3 as well, I believe.
All right.
Yeah. Looks like he's modeling. He's got an if statement here, trying to essentially increment these values over to the right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's on level 2.
Yeah, and so level 2, the way that is worded, an individual's vote counts more if the person just ahead of them voted in the same party. So he's trying to set up that formula where you look to the person to your left to see what their vote was to boost up your vote potentially.
Yeah, very interesting voting rules.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So so as you can see, we moved off of Matthew. We're on to Michael.
Yeah, Michael Holmes. Okay, 360 points.
And then basically, guys, I see that from the results that they give that the players are placing in the system, that actually level 3 seems to be easier than level 2 because or at least it brings more points. So they, like most of them, started with level 3, get the points, and then get back to level 2.
Right, and this is head-to-head. So Michael Palisoc is going up against Brittany Deaton, and Brittany still is at 170.
Yeah, Brittany's now working on the level 4, the colors. And these are a challenge as well, but she's figured out how to get the letters in there, because by default at the beginning of the case, the letters of the parties are not in those cells.
Right, they're all color-coded.
Yeah.
And she has converted them. Very wise move.
We didn't get to see it while she was doing it, but Brittany actually used the find and replace tool in Excel. You can actually do that based on a cell's formatting. So she was finding all the red cells and dropping an R in there.
Yes.
Okay.
And working on a separate sheet, and now she's 410 points, just 70 behind number 5 ranked Joseph Michael Palisoc.
Yeah.
And Brittany was the first player to submit the level 4 answers and submit them correctly. And only now her opponent Joseph Palisoc has submitted 2, and also Ngai, the defending champion.
There's
so she's working backwards now.
Okay. Yeah. Oh.
Which might prove to be beneficial. Might be a good strategy.
Andrew Ngai at 890. Okay.
Yeah, 4 levels and 2 bonus points.
Okay. He's flying.
Yeah, he's working on level 5 now.
Yeah.
And we have a total of 1,250 points for this case, at 1,000 for the levels and 250 potentially for the bonus, depending on who gets those first. So that could be the winning score today.
See.
But as we see on the top right of your screen, that we are going head-to-head here. So again, Andrew is competing against Kenneth. We got Joseph and Brittany competing, the 2 Michaels, and then Matthew and Michael competing. So we will take 4 winners here to move on to the semifinals. So even if one of these competitors finishes first and with the most points, that doesn't necessarily knock out all of the other players. So there's really we really have 4 fields of competition going right now, which is a lot of fun too.
Yeah, and this looks kind of scary for the Michael Jarman and Michael Clark battle, because they don't have a lot of points going. So if they don't get it together, they might go into a round and get stomped in the next round.
Brittany has scored level 5. Way ahead, and she just scored the second bonus question too.
Okay, wise, because it's a risk. Because if you can spend time on these bonuses, and if you don't get them, that can be time lost. But it can be a wise strategy as well.
Yeah, this might be the winning point on that Brittany and Joseph battle, right, Andrew? Who's got the bonuses right now? Did you say it's already split up?
Sorry, I need to refresh the current view, so we might see it on the screen.
We got a freeze pane here. That's what
we got a freeze pane.
No.
Maybe some VBA. I saw. I think Matthew tried to save his files. VB, some VB code in it. So, yeah,
that's bold.
Different approach. Yeah.
So,
well, if you don't know about that, If you don't know about that find and replace feature, which is maybe a little bit hidden on the find menu, but a fantastic hidden feature, the only other way to get those colors to letters, I think, would be VBA. If you weren't familiar with that find feature. So yeah, and it is definitely one, it's a good one to know, probably not one you use every day or very often. So definitely check that one out.
Oh yes, that is VBA.
Yeah, so he's looking at the interior color there and basically looping through. It looks like he's going to loop through the cells, or he's right now just kind of figuring out
he's
how he do that.
Codes, it looks like.
All right.
The pattern property there is going to be the challenge, because some of these cells are shaded with a pattern, a gradient shade. So might want to change.
Andrew Ngai, way out ahead of Kenneth Wang right now.
Okay. Like
Brittany still hanging in there with Joseph Palisoc. He's not too far out in front.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good battle.
See.
And Brittany's working back too, so she might pick up some points there.
Yes. And just spring ahead at the last second. Bring us some real drama.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see Michael Jarman spring ahead too and bring some drama to that one. Yeah, I was actually looking, and he is the points leader of the competition so far. If you tally up all the points from all the rounds, he's out ahead with the most points scored throughout the entire competition. So he's definitely capable of scoring.
Now, what is this? Is this a strategy where you solve a little piece of it and then roll it out to the rest?
Yeah, it looks like Brittany might be doing that. Might be setting up the table here and then applying that to the rest of the rows. Because essentially with all these levels, we have a lot of rows of sequences that we have to solve for, or that the competitors have to solve for.
Right. And it could be wise to solve a piece of it and minimize the scrolling and then roll the full solution out across all those columns.
Completely agree. There's really two different strategies. You can go with more of a horizontal approach, which is going to the right a lot of columns, which is when I do these, I typically do that. But when the logic gets complex, it can be very challenging to scroll so far to the right and left.
Yeah.
So this is what I would say a more vertical approach, where you just have your formulas in rows, copying them down or really working on the logic above, and then apply that to all of the sequences.
This level 5 actually is a good candidate if the competitors are familiar with the newer feature, dynamic arrays in Excel. Because if you can figure out how to quickly split that 1,000 votes, 1,000 letters into an array, then it's a lot easier to go count up how many of each letter is in that array and come up with party counts pretty quickly. It's just that splitting up. That's your first challenge.
Splitting it up, because some of them are just one letter and others are two. So you got to be really strategic in how you the order.
Right. That's where Brittany's find and replace early on might help her there, because she already got rid of all those double letter parties.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah, I did not think about that as a possible technique.
Curly brackets I just saw. So that old Control-Shift-Enter. All right. So
it's an older version of Excel.
Right.
So
see. Value function. We don't see that much.
Yeah, especially when working with text here, because we're doing some conversion of the text, and could be making sure that that's a number. It might be bringing it in from VBA or somewhere else.
Let's see. What are the scores looking like right now?
Yeah, it's just
the scores are currently being update it and reset.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So the scores are there. We just need to get them on the screen.
Has Andrew completed the test? It's on his screen. It looks like he's watching the YouTube stream.
Yes. I mean,
Oh.
at this point, like Andrew, Brittany, and Joseph Palisoc actually have completed their calculations, and but the other matches are still going on.
Okay.
The other players still have to make it.
Okay. So
at least 3 maxims here. And it's stated that 2 of them are in the same match.
Wow.
So it's only going to be the bonus points that decide who's going to be the winner between Joseph Palisoc and Brittany Deaton.
all right.
Oh wow.
And if we have a tie, we'll go to the person that finishes first.
Right.
Correct.
Well, it's not really possible, guys, here because the bonus points are, designed in such a way that there can't really be a tie. If both players solve everything at the same time, or fully, then it's gonna be like
Brittany with 1250. Brittany with 1250. Okay.
Wow. So it paid off to answer those bonus questions first.
Look at
And
that.
she got all of the bonus questions. All of them.
That's what we want to see.
That's
And it's going to be a very interesting match between Michael Jarman and Michael Clark. So as you see, both of them, Michael Jarman has scored everything, and he's currently working for bonus points. But the first bonus points is already awarded to Michael Clark because he was the first to achieve that. So let's see how these guys go.
Yeah.
So odds you saw one giant toppled.
Yes. This is huge.
Yeah. Going in the next round, you need to amp Brittany up again. Let's keep it.
Yeah.
Brittany showed up with the big shoe and kicked some booty today.
I love it. And we're seeing more VBA here from Michael Clark as well on the color level 4, the color challenge, the color fill challenge.
That's some scary stuff when you start going into VBA. Because that's yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say when I solved this, I used VBA for the last one because I was thinking it'd be faster for me than splitting those. The sequence of letters. But for this one, I did fortunately know about the find format option.
Yeah, 13 minutes left.
Yeah, I think if you know the VBA, you can fly through it. But if you're at a spot where you've got to be checking the online documentation, I think it's gonna be tough to work through all the complexities.
But coding is coding is a whole different world because you don't get tips like you do with formulas. You really got to know it solid to be productive, to have it useful in a timed competition like this.
Yes, yeah, I would say so. A lot of experience and confidence needed, and a lot of our players have that, as we saw at the beginning of the stream. Most of them have 10,000 hours plus in Excel, but if you don't, feel relatively new, and so you might not have that VBA knowledge yet. Because to me, it's just something that takes years for me personally.
Yes,
but for our competitors, I know they can learn a lot quicker. So it looks like Matthew is still trying to figure out level 4. He's got level 5 complete, and he's really just part of the way through level 4 here.
Yep. 12 minutes left.
Yeah. 12 minutes left. He's got plenty of time.
All right. So this means that Brittany will be going up against #1 ranked Andrew Ngai in the next round.
Yeah, and it looks like Michael Jarman has finished with 1,200 points as well.
Okay.
So he's complete and through. And so we're down to Matthew Freed and Michael Holmes. And Michael's also on level 4 here. Looks like he's done the same thing with VBA to replace some of those.
Okay.
To fill in the.
Yeah. And yeah, you can find replace. You can use cell formats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of hidden there, and you can also copy from or you can essentially import the format from a cell. So you don't even have to go into the format cells window, and you can actually extract the formatting from the cell. There's an option for that in the dropdown, which is pretty hidden. But I encourage our viewers, if you've never seen that one, go check out the find menu and take a look at all of the hidden features on that menu, because you'll learn a lot. It's a pretty incredible tool within Excel.
Yeah, I did not know about that option to get the formatting off an existing cell. John, thanks for that.
Oh, yeah. I learned that one during this. I found it because it's like, I think that's the thing with Excel, and Johnny, you can probably speak to this best, but there's just so many, it's been around for so long. There's so many options and features to find that you can just always find something new every single day. You'll never run out of things to learn.
Never stop learning tool. And we're constantly trying to put more into the product. So it's a fun challenge to yourself to try and keep up, I'd say.
Yeah, and that's what we're seeing with our competitors too. I mean, obviously, to me, that's what's so fun about this, is we get to see all of these competitors use different techniques to solve the same problem. And
Michael Holmes was just using a manual approach. Have a look here. He's just manually typing numbers to get the formulas right. So again, like there is a way to file through the formatting, but it's a very rarely used thing. I was combining this case and learn a lot about this function too. And that's a pure beauty of Excel Esports, that it challenges you to find some new games and new ways to build solutions that you have never used before, and you might just expand your skill set.
Yeah.
A lot.
But then sometimes you do have to just go manual,
You do.
Yeah, 10 minutes left, you're trying to score points.
Yeah, if the alternative is to just sit and look, go manual.
Yeah, and apparently,
it's like Matthews.
This match is
this
match is so interesting that in a sense that Matthew Fried is in the lead. He still struggles. No, he's fine with level 4, but he also gets some 2 bonus points before Michael Holmes. So Michael Holmes actually currently has, he doesn't have a way to get the points.
Yeah.
I think that's one way to make Matthew Fried.
Andrew, with his... Oh, go ahead, Johnny.
I was just saying, it looks like Matthew's kind of come up with a VBA formula to extract the formats out of the original case description to apply down below. This is one of those things where that lesson you just taught us, John, about the find replace, being able to just pull it out for you, that really is a time saver.
Yeah, yeah, because those gradients are a challenge. So, and does Matthew have potentially some wrong answers with a score of 986? Is that?
Both of them have only 40 points, only 40 percentage points on level 4. So, which means that there is still a lot to get from level 4. All the other levels are fine for them, except, by the way, there is one wrong answer for Michael Holmes on level 5.
Okay. Wow, this can really come down to the wire with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left, approximately. And one thing we haven't mentioned yet, at the beginning of this broadcast, I mentioned that 8 of the best players in the world are playing today, best Excel users, which is a bold claim. But if you feel like you are better than any of these players, or you just want to give this a shot, you can download these cases on the FMWC website. And I think there'll be a link in the chat. And they are also free to download during the broadcast today. So definitely check that out. If you're watching now and you want to give this a shot, definitely go download these cases and give it a try. You can give it a try during the broadcast or later today. Give it a shot, because these are a challenge. They will challenge your brain and also really help you learn new Excel skills in the process.
Definitely, because even though you might not see a business case for this, but this could be a fun way to really learn Excel and see that there is more than just finance and accounting that can be done with Excel.
Yeah, and it looks like Michael has found the find and replace window.
Okay.
Yes. It get interesting now. Maybe not necessarily with the formats, but you can see the button we're talking about is on the top right side of that window. There's a format drop down there, and that's got some gold stored in it for today's challenge.
Lots of gold. You're gonna have that leprechaun jump out. Yeah.
It might come down to those gold cells on the screen there. So who knows? Need some true luck. So he's still going with it. Looks like Michael's still kind of going through the manual approach here, which again, with the amount of time left, might still work out.
Man,
Back to Matthew. Matthew's got his VB editor open.
Yeah, I haven't seen a challenge myself where they've used VBA, and we've got 2 competitors using VBA.
Amazingly, if Michael gets the remaining points at level 4 correctly, and if Matthew doesn't get any points anymore, so actually Michael Holmes has a chance to marginally beat by, I don't know, like a couple of points there.
See? 5 minutes and 10 seconds.
Right.
So it seems like at this point we have Kenneth Wang with 624 points still working, and yeah, Michael Clark and Matthew and Michael Holmes.
No change.
And can you speak to when we see that yellow highlight in VBA and the red one? What are we seeing there?
So that's a great question, Oz. So he's actually stepping through the code. That's the yellow. So essentially the macro is running right now, but he has it paused or stopped.
Okay.
And the red dot stops the code. So you can add, it's called a breakpoint, and you can add a breakpoint out in the gutter there, which is a little stop symbol or a red dot.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of paused and is using that to check his immediate window and check some values down in the immediate window.
Gotcha.
See if he can extract those colors. I'm pretty sure what he's doing there. And again, this gradient is going to be the challenge there. I really like how Andrew put this in the case. That adds a whole nother layer of complexity, because you can find a solid fill, but to find a gradient fill without that kind of find and replace technique we were talking about earlier is definitely a challenge.
I'll be honest, when I tried this and used the find and replace technique, the gradient still made me groan trying to figure it out. So kudos, Andrew.
Yeah.
Really
Evil
complexity to hear.
3.5 minutes left. Still going at it.
Currently, we're going to see some run between going for the luck.
Yeah, so for the viewers out there in these competitions, the ran between is sort of your Hail Mary play at the end of the game, where you use a function in Excel that randomly generates numbers and throw that out there and see if you randomly get any right answers.
Yeah. Yep.
But the problem for both guys is actually that, like, they have submitted some answers. They don't know which ones are correct. Well, I believe that they don't know. And they know that like about 40% of these are correct, because that's the score that they get from there. That's going to be interesting if they're not going to spoil more than Gabe from Run Between on level 4. Still, level 4 is much bit better for Run Between type of answer submission on the last minute, because it has quite a narrow range of possible answers. So it's not like, for example, level 3 when you have, let's say, answers in hundreds of thousands. So here it's just a two-digit number.
That's a good point. Probably really under maybe 40 or 50 or so, like a 2-digit number would get you some points potentially. But even with that strategy, the users cannot see what they got right until they kind of look at the answer board. Is that correct, Andrew? So ran between still a guess.
Yes, that's still a guess, and they here during the live streams they will not be able to see that. When we release the games with the answers, we provide that with let's say an automatic scoring functionality, so that basically as soon as you place a number, it shows you whether it's correct or not.
Yes. Okay. So it's, like you said, it's still risky. So we've got Michael. I think he's gotten through all of his find and replaces. So now he might have, with 1:40 left, he might have a chance to potentially score here.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Michael Holmes in and out of it. Minute and a half.
Yeah. Like he's gonna add some.
I wonder what this is going to do to Brittany to see that she's knocked down the giant. Is she going to get cocky, or or just keep an even demeanor and just keep on going and knock down another one?
Well, it's interesting with these brackets, right? Brittany and Andrew were both got, flawless scores in this first round. All the questions and all the bonuses, and now they're headed up against each other.
That's right.
Yeah, that's going to be a great battle. Great battle.
It'd be tough for anyone to get cocky in that situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm surprised we haven't seen Michael score some points here. We've got 30 seconds left.
Oh.
There we go. Okay.
Some more points, but it's only 90% precision for Michael, and he's still 10 points behind. It's basically
so close.
He needs one extra. Well, he needs both. He needs 2 correct answers, and he's going to be in the lead. In the lead. Currently, he's still behind.
Might be one
10
final
seconds
place that he forgot. Here we go.
5. Woo! There's this time. There it is.
And time.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So here's our leaderboard here. We got a very close match at the beginning. Like we said, we have Andrew Ngai taking the win over Kenneth Yang. Brittany Deaton took the win over our one of our reigning champions and top competitors, Joseph Palisoc. And Michael Jarman also took the win with max points there, except for the bonus that Michael Clark got from him there. And then Matthew Freed barely beat out Michael Holmes, and that level 4 really was a challenging one for both of them.
Yes. But Matthew Freed, Mr. Confidence in the beginning, will be moving forward.
Yeah.
Before the start of the matches, I was actually joking that's there is a good chance that Michael's going to win this tournament because we have 3 Michaels, and Joseph Palisoc actually has his middle name is Michael, so he's Joseph Palisoc. Now we're down to only single Michael left in the tournament.
Matthew
We're back.
Michael.
We're back.
How was that one? That tough?
Brittany, what do you have to say? You pulled out the axe and chopped down the beanstalk. The giant is laying in the canyon.
That's gonna put up a fight.
Well, come on, you did more than that. Put up a fight. You delivered a fight. All right.
Love the enthusiasm.
And Michael Jarman, how was that one for you? It's like you almost got max points there.
Yeah, a couple of silly errors. Reading the question is very important in these games. Both the bonus 2 and 3, I was very confused why I hadn't got because I hadn't read the question properly. So just happy to get through, really. It's going to get harder from here, so hopefully I can get rid of those mistakes.
Yeah, very good. Very good job. And Andrew Ngai, how about you? How was that one for you?
Yeah, it was nice to learn something new about Excel during the competition.
What was that? What was your new learning there?
The find and replace by color. I know you can find by format, but I didn't realize that you can just click the cell. But I saw that just under that little box, and so it worked pretty well.
Yeah, we were talking about that during the broadcast. I learned that one the hard way when I was solving this as well. And yeah, this is great learning experience here. Matthew and Michael, how'd y'all fare? Matthew, we'll start with you. How'd you fare with that one?
I think the tackle hunt for the early bonuses paid off, and exactly as Andrew said, just learning new things about Excel to try to get those colors out. It's good fun though.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw Michael using some VBA as well. Was that kind of your strategy there, Michael, for Michael Holmes, I should say, for trying to get those colors knocked out?
Yeah, I couldn't figure out the colors. I just couldn't figure out a way to differentiate the blue-white from the yellow-blue, even in VBA. So I had a good system, I thought, but then I just looked at the time and kind of went manually through and divvied them up one by one. But yeah, that was close.
Yeah, we picked up on that because manual, that can work sometimes.
Yeah, I just looked and saw I had like 10 minutes left and figured out I got enough time to crank through them. Curious to see everyone else did it because it didn't work too well.
Yeah, those gradients were tough. Well, congratulations to everyone moving on, and thanks to all of our competitors here today. We're going to move on to the the semifinals. Before we do that, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a few for the semifinals.
Right.
All right, welcome back. We are ready for the semifinals here. We've just completed the quarterfinals, and we're going to move on to our semifinal round with our last 4 competitors. We're still going to have head-to-head battles here with our last 4 competitors. Before we get to that, of course, we're going to watch an explainer video that's going to tell us about this next challenge for them. Let's jump into that.
Welcome to the Microsoft Excel World Championship 2022. We are glad to present you 500, a case for the semifinals of the competition, designed by Tim Hang from Australia. "500 is a 4-player card game that uses a modified 43 card deck. Like many other card games, the goal is to take turns to play a card, following the suit of the person who plays each hand first, or the highest card will win that hand. There is also a trump suit, which can be played when a player has no cards to follow suit, and which will win over any other suit played. The order of cards is slightly different in 500, compared to other trump card games, with the joker being the biggest card, followed by the jack of the trump suit, followed by the jack of the other same color suit, followed by all other cards going from ace, king, and down the deck. The cards are dealt 3 at a time, moving clockwise, followed by 1 card being placed in the center of the table, the kitty. Then the dealer passes cards 4 at a time to each player, followed by 1 to the kitty, then finally 3 at a time, for a total of 10 cards per player, with the final card being the 3rd card in the kitty. Once the cards have been dealt, players start making bids to start the game and receive the cards in the kitty. The bid is intended to represent a player's attempt to determine how many hands of the 10 hands each game that they can win, having declared a particular suit as being the trump suit. Once a player has made a bid, the bidding continues clockwise, with each player following the same logic to make larger bids. If a player is not willing to make a higher bid, they may pass and may not participate any further in the bidding. Players continue to take turns until all other players pass. If all 4 players pass, then the cards are returned to the dealer and reshuffled to be dealt again. There are 5 levels of increasing difficulty available in this competition task and 3 bonus questions. Plan your strategy wisely. Good luck!
All right, we are back with another challenging case. Johnny, what do you think about this one?
You know, when I read this case, my mind was blown. I've never heard of the game 500, and it really took me a while to figure out what the rules are. I'm curious if familiarity with the game might play in here. I think, Andrew, you mentioned that this might help the Australia, New Zealand players who are also battling at 4 in the morning their time.
It might be. You know, the author of the case is Tim Hang. He's an Australian, and he mentioned that this game is kind of more popular in Australia rather than in the other parts of the world. So yeah, I mean, like, I haven't never heard of that game as well. I played something similar though, so it was not too difficult to get into the rules. Basically, you just need to understand how are the cards being dealt. So it's basically 3, then 4, then 3 again. Don't forget about 1 card to the kitty, and then the bidding process. So these are the 2 main principles you need to understand. And that's it.
And I wonder if there's going to be any advantage for the 2 Australians that are still left, Andrew and Matthew.
Yeah, let's see. Let's bring back our players and see if they have any questions, how they feel about this case. Are there any questions on the case?
Yeah, when it says look at the suit that gives them the best chance of winning the trump suit, is that just the highest one when you work out that formula of big trumps and small trumps? Is it just the highest number of 4?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
So, yeah, I think it kind of requires a little bit of explanation here. So for when you get your 10 cards, you don't have the cards from the kitty, so you have to determine. Again, that's more towards the further levels. Initially, you just need to understand how many cards and what are the cards in your hand. But when you go through that, you will need to understand what's the maximum number of rounds you can win there, and if you arrange a trump suit or announce a trump suit that you have a lot in your hand, that you can get a lot of rounds. If it's less, then you can get less rounds. And of course, you're going to be bidding this suit that's going to be the better for you. That's going to bring you more rounds. And if you get, there are some rules like every big card, big trump will bring you like 1.25 rounds, and every small trump card will kind of bring you like 0.75 rounds on average. So when you calculate these and get some, let's say, partial numbers, then please always round down. That's in the numbers in the instructions there. And again, when bidding, that's probably level 5. Only don't forget that you never bid the highest amount that you can. Like if you're willing to take, let's say, 9 hearts, you start bidding 6 hearts. And only if you get overbid, only then you bid 7 hearts and 8 hearts and so on. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions from our competitors?
All right, so sounds like we're ready to get started. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, we have a challenge on our hands today.
Definitely.
Like you guys said at the beginning, I think Johnny mentioned, if you have experience at this game, it's probably going to help you. Although the logic involved here understanding the logic of how to solve this is also going to be the biggest challenge, even if you do understand the game. So looks like
Brittany is busting out the X lookup immediately.
Right. Yeah, she's on probably level 1, starting level 1, which is definitely the easiest of the levels here.
Yeah, on level 1 you have to just understand what kind of cards do you have on your hand and see how many spades does player 4 have.
Okay.
Yeah, we mentioned
Andrew.
Sometimes the understanding the game, but the case is set up where the instructions tell you how it works, and you kind of build up through the levels and understanding of how things are dealt and how point values work and stuff. So it's not like you're out of luck if you haven't played this game before. I think one of the things we'll be seeing right now with level 1 is if people can quickly figure out how to deal the cards out and know what player has what. I think we saw Brittany starting to do something with the X lookup where you can just sort of create a little set of 1s, 2s, 3s across the top of your cards and figure out which player gets what card. And then that'll apply to every single hand for the rest of the competition.
And it looked like Andrew had opened a whole new workbook, whereas Brittany had started to work on a separate sheet.
And we've just had two bonus question submissions. Bonus question 2 from Michael Jarman and Matthew Fright, like almost simultaneously, but Matthew Fright was like a millisecond faster.
Wow.
The points awarded.
80 points.
8 points on the board for the bonus. And it looks like everyone's still on level 1 otherwise, which again, as Johnny said, is really just trying to figure out a calculation on how to how the cards are dealt and who gets which player gets which cards. And the dealing is a little different than normal poker match where you just deal 1 card to each person. There's a sequence of events here which makes this a challenge. So it's there's a little bit more rules and complexity to that. You get 3 cards, then 1 to the kitty, then 4 cards, then 1 to the kitty, and so on. So it makes it a little bit more of a challenge, but still relatively easy compared to the other levels.
And Andrew out ahead of Brittany at 80 points.
80 bonus points for bonus question number 2. Seems that bonus 2 is easier than bonus 1 because Andrew has answered both of them, but bonus question 1 he has provided an incorrect answer there. So only 80 points for him.
Okay. And again, we have 2 matches going on here. You can see that on the top right of your screen where we have that the horizontal thick kind of white bar there between Andrew and Brittany are 2 of our competitors in one battle, and then Michael Jarman and Matthew Fried in the other. So they each have the ability to score the bonus points, but only the first person to score the bonus points in each of those matches will win the points. So although they're taking risk there,
now are the bonuses, right?
Yeah, it's good to take that risk early, but they might not know if their competitor is also taking that risk up front or keeping it for the end. So
and while the streaming is happening, you can download these cases and they will be free during the stream. 134 points, Matthew. 50 points, Michael Jarman. Okay, we're looking at Michael right now. Let's see what's happening.
He must have got some bonus points.
Oh, the 2-call. Look at it, the 2-call function.
All right.
Oh, man.
Brand new function to Excel.
Yes.
So he's working with those dynamic arrays, I think.
Yeah.
Trying to split things out for the decks.
That 2-call function is one that we've wanted for years. It will take a matrix or an array of values and turn it into a single column.
Yeah, and pretty incredible function especially for kind of grid-like scenarios like we're seeing here, where you'd want to analyze maybe all these values in a single column.
Yeah.
And it has a cousin called 2-row as well, which will do the opposite. Yeah. So now these competitors are probably pretty familiar with card type games at this point in the competition and in their careers in the FMWC. They've probably seen a lot of card competitions, or card cases. But if you haven't, you notice that in these cells here are some symbols for the suits in the of the deck, the suits of the card deck, along with the numbers. So one of the other challenges might just be, in some cases, you'll need to understand the suit and splitting that out, figuring out what suit the card is, along with the number as well. And we can see now that Andrew is changing his bonus answer. He's still working on the bonus, which might be smart with a lot of time left to get some of those points up front. He knows that Brittany scored a perfect score essentially in the last round, so he knows that he has to do that as well.
Yeah, will he get all jittery because he knows who he's up against?
Yeah,
we're gonna see. Yes, that's right.
Honestly, guys, I do not expect any maximum results over here because this case is much tougher than the previous one. So it's not going to be a walk in the park. And actually taking the bonus questions first, that could be a good strategy here. But to get the bonus question number 3, you actually have to solve that based on one of the results from level 5. So again, you need to get something on the board for level 5 there.
Yeah, that's a great point. And really the bonus questions total 250 points. So it's a relatively small number in the grand scheme of things if you're not going to complete the whole challenge. So if you're only to get, let's say, through 3 or maybe 4 levels, then those points are going to outweigh the points of just the bonus themselves. So that is a great point.
The first 3 levels are worth 420 points in this game. So if you add, let's say, 130, that's quite a substantial amount there.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I like how you've weighed out the bonus points. It really does make them a game changer, as we saw in the last round.
You know, reminder to sports fans there, the reason we're talking about doing the bonus questions early is within your bracket, you only get the points if you answered it first again. So you want to be ahead of your competitor getting those done, and that's probably why Andrew's been spending so much time up there in the bonus while Brittany's been focused on question 1.
Yeah.
She's still on question 1. Oh, and those curly brackets again, the old school Control-Shift-Enter formula. Look at that.
They're not retired yet.
But when something works, it works, and that's what you go with.
Yeah.
And the index match, no X lookup here. Okay, what's going on?
You know, there's a lot of good opportunities here for some of the newer stuff like X lookup, dynamic arrays, but it's also speeds here, and you got to go with what's second nature to you, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree, especially with some of the X lookups in a speed competition. I'm going to get hate mail for saying this, but I might actually use VLOOKUP instead.
Yes.
It's muscle memory of years and years of doing it, and maybe one less selection. So, yeah, I can understand that. So it's always good to know, too, when to use these new functions, and it's okay to default to muscle memory sometime. But there's some amazing stuff that can really help us, especially with complex cases like this.
Yeah, amazingly, Brittany has just scored the first level, and she's good to go. And also, Michael Jarman just got his answer for level 1, and it's only Andrew Ngai, the defending world champion, is struggling on level 1. Interesting that he submitted answers for level 2, but the problem is that if you don't get level 1 correctly, and he got only 40% of the points on level 1, you will have problems on the next levels as well. So
Man.
So we can see now.
Fascinating.
Yeah. The Brittany is working on this Trump suit.
I like that.
Building essentially a calculator.
The instructions onto this page.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Clear out some visual clutter.
Yep. Actually, when I was working this competition, I used the new window feature in Excel. So I kind of had one Excel open. The workbook was just up at the instructions, and then my main window I was working on, I was just going through the questions themselves.
Very smart. Yeah, because if you're not familiar with the rules of the game here, like that Trump suit, and you can see on Brittany's screen, there's the rules right there. And it's odd rules for a card game that would typically have kind of more the king, queen, or ace, king, queen. 500's a little different, so you got to be aware of that.
Oh, Andrew, 254 points.
Amazingly, level 2 is correct for him, but level 1 is still incorrect. So it's only 40% of the points there. And Michael Jarman has just scored level 2 correct as well.
Right.
Yeah, Michael Jarman's out to a lead.
Yep.
Let's jump over to Michael Jarman and see how he's doing.
Yeah.
He's moving down to 3 now.
And you are watching the final 4 in the Microsoft Excel World Championship. We are going to have a champion by the end of tonight.
But some serious bragging rights.
Yes.
Head out to FM World Cup and see. You can download these cases and try them out yourself.
That's right.
This one you might want to block off an afternoon or a few days.
Yep.
to tackle this one. Yeah.
And have some rags for the amount of sweat that you're gonna secrete.
Sweat.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe some bloodshed.
And then, guys, when you kind of complete that case and you say, "Well, that was tough," and the only thing I could say is that it's actually a bit easier than it used to be initially when submitted. So the current level 5 that used to be level 4, and it used to be an even bigger and even harder level before that.
And look at this, Michael Jarman and Matthew Freed. They're tight. They're tight, 270 to 300.
Yeah, it's a great battle. We're seeing Brittany still flying between sheets over there.
Let's see what's happening. Yeah, here's Brittany's page. All right.
It looks like she's going to score level 2 right here.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
All right.
Brittany just jumped up to 220.
Yes.
She scored, I think, all of level 2 in one full.
All right. Yes.
And I think she's better poised for winning this game at this point because Andrew Ngai still doesn't have the level 1 correct. It means that he deals the card strongly to his hands. And that would prevent him from getting points anywhere further. I hope he recognizes that.
Yeah, that's a really great point. So of course, if you have the deal incorrect, then the rest of the game is not going to be correct either. So that's a really great point. And if you are joining our live stream on YouTube, make sure to put in the comments some love for the competitors here. I know I saw a lot of love for Brittany in the chat earlier, and all of our competitors as well. So make sure you're supporting your team there.
Yes. So we got 2 Australians, Brittany in the USA, Michael Jarman in Canada. Oh, let's see.
We can see Andrew working on his if statement here. Maybe he has something, like we said before, incorrect with that deal. It's thrown off his points. And here's Michael Jarman.
Big, small, okay. All right.
And what he's trying to do, if the viewers didn't get a chance to read the competition, is you have a trump suit on each hand that's dealt, and within that trump, some cards are called big trumps or small based on their value. So he's trying to sort out the bigs and the smalls for all of these decks. You can see lots of columns he's running through. He's also doing a lot of manual typing here, so this may slow him down further down the line if he hasn't automated how to identify the bigs and smalls.
Yeah, that's a great point. Maybe a formula-based approach would make it a little more dynamic.
And if anybody's curious, you see there's hashtag symbols in these formulas, some of them, and that is a dynamic array. That hashtag refers to an entire array, and the formula will shrink or expand with the array.
Yeah, that's a great point, Oz, and that's such a helpful feature, new feature and helpful feature of Excel, especially in this type of modeling, where you might have something as simple as a list of unique values that you want to reference all the time, and you could just do that with that spill range operator there to reference a spill range. So hashtags not only popular on social media, it's now popular in Excel formulas.
That's right.
Good to learn it.
Yep. You can even put that in drop-down boxes. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So the points are stalled. We haven't had any movement in a while.
Yeah,
But there is due to the fact that level 3 is actually way more complex than level 2. So it's not just about, selecting how many big cards you have or how many cards you have on your hand. It's about, really making the bids where, if you play for money, then it's a big money on stake. And you don't want to bid too much when you can't really support that with the cards on your hand. So let's wait for the solution from the players. On the other hand, what I can say is that level 4, if they solve level 3, then we might have some scores on level 4 soon enough.
This case is set up where you really kind of got to progress through the levels in a row. Level 3, you're figuring out what player number 3 would bid, and basically in number 4, you're trying to figure out what every player would bid so you can get to the highest bid.
Absolutely correct.
I'm interested to see how Brittany plays here, because she's kind of been in the steady slog of figuring out formulaically, and boom, all of a sudden being able to get an entire level at once. And curious if level 3 is going to play out the same way for her.
Yeah, it seems that she's quite far with her calculations. So let's see what she's capable to do there.
She's using hashtags, as Oz said.
Yeah, you gotta know your dynamic arrays, y'all. You using Excel. If you're not using dynamic arrays, I don't know.
Yeah, so we saw in that complex formula where she was doing a left and in length of the arrays. It looked like she was trying to extract the number out of a card where it's got both the number and the suit, as John mentioned, so that she can get these values out.
Right, and it looks like she's there's also a scale system here, a weighting system, and she's got some of those points kind of hard-coded in her formula there. But for sake of time, sometimes that's the best way to go.
Exactly. Because typically, when you're doing something for real, hard-coded values are a no-no. But there are times when you break the rules, and this is one of them.
Yeah, and I like how Brittany too. When you look at her modeling, it's very clean. Even as a viewer, you can almost kind of start to understand what she's trying to do here. Of course, it's easier if you've tried and attempted the case, but you can still see that she's really trying to kind of get those sections there for the players.
And I want to make one point: is look at that the clover. What do you call that? It's a clover in the formula bar. Clubs, yes, you can use these types of characters in formulas. Doesn't have to be text or digits.
That's right. Let's move over to our other leader, Matthew Freed.
Right. It looks like the main struggle for Brittany currently is the fact that her initial solution is based on level 2 that was meant for the 4th player, but now level 3 asks for the cards from player 3. So that might be something that's, she's not aware that she's solving for the wrong player.
Oh, no. That might be a tough one to identify and go back and reverse it.
It looks like the solution is there. It might be erroneous, but it's still there. It's just about getting replicating the result from the example and
I see her going through and changing column letters on her formula, so maybe she has identified it. She's turning all her D's into E's.
Let's see.
That's not going to be too flexible for level 4, although.
Yeah, this gets into one of those spots where you don't want the hard coding now, because as you get into the future levels, being able to quickly go through all the players is pretty important.
Well, 11 minutes left.
All
if
right.
we can get some. And then
like he just got the example answer correctly, or he's about to get that. You see the 625. That means that the biggest number over there, that's going to be 6 clubs. He was able to replicate the sample question, and we're going to see the data table soon.
Oh, but you know something? The named ranges can be helpful. They can make formulas easier to read, but also the actual math is somewhere else. You can't see it on the sheet. You got to open that box.
Yes, that's a good point. There's definitely pros and cons. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's so true of all these techniques that we're seeing today. too.
Brittany did exactly what we mentioned before. She dropped in all her answers to level 3 and boom, exploded.
Yes.
Yeah. So with just over 5 minutes left, we have Brittany in the lead on the
and Matthew
battle
Freed.
between Brittany and Andrew, and then we have Matthew in the lead over the battle between Matthew and Michael.
That's right.
Matthew's out ahead.
Yeah, and Andrew seems to have, given up because at this point he still struggles with level 1. He probably doesn't know that he don't have the foundations of his model correct, and he can't build on that. So his answers for level 2 are correct, but starting from there, he couldn't get anything correctly, and that's a big problem for him. So he has submitted some lucky guesses there. Some of them went ahead and brought him some points, but that's definitely not enough for him.
Can we see what Brittany is doing? Because I saw some highlighted cells. Okay.
Yeah, so she has moved down to level 4. Level 4 introduces a point system.
Yep, and it's you know what, guys? The only problem for Brittany is that she didn't really read the rules well. The point is that you can't really beat 5 or 4 trumps. You need to beat 6 or less. If less, then you need to submit a pass. And that's exactly where she lost the points. Good news that it doesn't
level
really.
3, yeah.
Yeah, the good news is that it doesn't really change anything here at this point.
Yeah, and she might have maybe she knew that and just decided not to solve for that, although you would never know how many passes there are. But
she's looking intense.
It does add a layer of complexity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if your solution is brings you 85% of the points, or you see that it's a lot of points, then why don't you go ahead and apply that to the further level?
Yeah, yes, I think it's a decent strategy with this time limit. Although at this level of competition, you just never know what your competitor is doing. So they're on the same field, but they can't necessarily see each other playing. So
3.5 minutes left. 3.5 minutes.
Wait for the finals. They'll be able to play against each other.
Okay, here's Andrew.
Oh, Michael Jarman. 30% on level 3.
Andrew thinks he's figured out the passes, which could score him some points here.
Oh, 416. Okay. Okay, so just came out ahead of Brittany. Come on, with 3 minutes left.
Oh, and Matthew.
Right. 710.
When did that happen?
Let's go check out Matthew. Level 4. My goodness.
He was the example of confidence when we got started.
It's 2.5 minutes left, and I still think that Brittany has a lot of chances to get level 4.
Yeah.
If she gets it done in time, there's no way Andrew could beat her.
It's interesting. I don't know if you noticed the Andrew's strategy there. He had actually filled in the answer sheet with all passes while he was working on the real answer. I think just if you could pick up spare points along the way, he went in and pasted over new answers over a bunch of passes. So
interesting
strategy. It might work to someone's advantage just to go fill out the rest of this form of passes while you're working on everything.
Yeah. So that would allow him to know
less than 2 minutes.
Passes. Here we go.
Right. Let's see.
Brittany's working on the point grid here for level 4.
Minute 45.
Yeah.
If she can score some points. We have Andrew out in the lead.
Yeah.
Minute 30 left. And
not by much. Let's see.
That should be good for her. She got some correct answers there.
Wow.
Get it in time. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And reminder, Andrew and Brittany were our perfect scores in the first round, and now they're actually, kind of the lower scores when we look across the board here.
Yeah.
Case to case, bracket to bracket, things vary a lot.
They really do. You never know what can happen here, and we've seen a lot of upsets already. And you can see another one today. Brittany's score.
Oh!
10.
1 minute. Wow. 1 minute. Look at Brittany. Oh, All
1
right.
minute left.
Oh, Andrew. Oh,
Andrew.
a 7-point difference. This, oh my gosh.
Last minute here.
Oh.
Gonna come in.
Brittany fell back. What? Come on. What are you doing? What's going on here?
What
are they? Come on.
Undo. No. Control Z.
Come on now.
Oh no.
Y'all had it. You had it. 30 seconds. What is? Ave Maria. What is going on? Okay. 600.
Okay, we're back.
603. 610. 17 seconds.
That's your best answers.
Come on. This
come down to the wire.
This is when you. Oh my gosh. 7
Jarman
points.
have a Hail Mary as well.
Come on. Come on. 3 seconds.
This might be what puts him in future levels.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
That was a nail biter.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Okay. So we had Andrew just squeak by at the end and won by 5 points over Brittany. And Matthew took out Michael Jarman with a great round there. Scored all the way through level 4 into level 5. So outstanding. That was a nail biter. My goodness, I've never seen anything like that. What'd you think about that, Oz? All that crazy back and forth at the end.
It was a mess. I mean, that was something. And they both fell back in points at the same time.
Incredible.
Aye.
So Andrew, we saw you and Brittany move back and forth there between points at the very, very end with under 2 minutes to go. What was the strategy there?
Well, the strategy was, well, my strategy at first was if I don't know, then I'm just going to assume everyone passed. At least it's like a valid answer. And then I tried to put something in, and then I think, I don't know, maybe it messed something up, and I don't know. But I think I fixed something, and then I don't actually remember. Yeah, I remember like seeing my score go down. So okay, I'm just gonna press undo, and then I think the final 10 seconds I saw, well, I'm behind, so I got to do something. So I just made a random guess, and then it happened to be right, I think. So I'm sorry for winning that way, but
Yeah.
And actually, Andrew got round number 71 correct, game number 71. That brought you 12 points. So was that the lucky guess?
I think so, yeah. So it was one of the last section, I think. Second last section? I don't remember. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And you don't get penalized for being lucky.
That's true. And Matthew, we saw you take the lead there and the win. You take the lead early on and then took the win. How was that one for you?
I think I'm one of those lucky Australians who actually had some knowledge of the game. So possibly that was my leg up over Jarman there. But it was good. I tried to go for bonus 2 first, just in case Michael went for bonus 1, sort of tactically.
Yeah, I did that.
And then...
I did bonus 2 first as well, so that didn't work for me.
Okay. And I thought I was really behind at one point, but I think trying to do some sort of rather complete methodology meant I think I probably gained a lot of points just in those final 2 minutes, but who knows how it was.
Yeah, with a few minutes to go, you definitely gained quite a few points here in level 4. So great job. And Brittany, it was so close. You were ahead until the last 15 seconds or something by 7 points. It was
way
so close.
behind.
No!
I was just
Did a
sitting here,
great job.
I'm slogging through this thing, and I must be way behind. I had no idea.
Really great
that
job.
bonus stolen out from under me. I went for bonus 1 instead of 2 first. That was the downfall.
It's a tough strategy. It's hard to figure that one out.
I need to go lay down.
Along the way there, as you drop in a whole set of answers to each level, so you have the crowd blow up.
Yes.
Level up by 200 points each way.
Wow. That was intense.
Well, that was exciting. So we still have a round left. The final round is coming up. Before we get to that, we're going to take a quick break. and we'll be back for the final round with Andrew and Matthew. All right, we are back. If you're just joining us, we're at the Microsoft Excel World Championships, and we're ready for the finals. We're down to our last two competitors of this event. Andrew Ngai and Matthew Freed, both from Australia, have made it all the way through this competition, and they're now going to battle it out for really the ultimate bragging rights here in the world of Excel. Figure out who the best Excel user in the world is here today. So we're really excited for this competition and this battle. What do you think about this last one, Andrew? What are your thoughts on this last finals?
Wow, you mean the semifinals? That was a very tough game, and just a nail biter of that was very intense. This one is really deserves to be like in one of these highlight moments of all the years of competitions. So probably the only one I remember of that intensity was back last September when Gabriela from Poland was competing with Anne from India, and Gabriela won like probably the last 30 seconds. It was a come from behind victory. Yeah. But we will see some more interaction in the final game as well. There will be some new things in the formats that the guys hopefully will enjoy.
Should be exciting, yeah. Johnny, you work on Excel. You are a Microsoft employee and work on Excel. Have you ever seen Excel used in this fashion before?
Apology there, yeah. I've gotten a chance to see people really monkey around with Excel and do some interesting things, from art to, obviously the basics of like calculating money and stuff. But yeah, there are lots of amazing things you can do with the product, because Excel is really kind of whatever you want it to be.
That's right.
These cases are just a great example of one way to go about it, and I'm sure folks out there watching on the live stream and our competitors here are familiar with all the other thousands of ways you could make Excel the thing of your wildest dreams.
That's right. Excel is a development platform.
Yeah. Let me just add that the scoreboard through all the competitions is also made in Excel. So basically, whatever you see there, it's like fancy graphics, but that's all Excel. And with all the significant backgrounds links with the player files.
Excel is used for everything. In my biased opinion, the world runs on it. So
well,
I completely agree.
It's not an opinion. It's a fact.
Yeah, I think it really is.
It's just a reminder, John, you said they're playing for bragging rights. There's also a good chunk of money on the line here. There's been $10,000 in prize funds for the whole competition. I think the winner here is going to walk away with $3,000. So bragging rights are also great.
That's right.
Yeah, but not a bad day of doing some Excel challenges too. That's awesome. It's gonna be fun to see. So let's learn about our last case. We have another video that's gonna explain our last and final case here, and we'll jump over to that and check it out.
Well, let's check it out.
Welcome to the Microsoft Excel World Championship 2022. We are glad to present you Final Game, the Super Grandmaster, designed by Andrew Grigalianovich, the founder of the tournament. The winner of this game will be crowned as this year's Excel World Champion. Just like in chess, the winner will be the true Super Grandmaster of Excel Esports. So, we have prepared a chess game for the players. The board tab contains a 100 by 100 cell board filled with your opponent chess pieces. Each of these pieces is assigned a point value based on their relative strength in chess terms. Your goal is to model how many of these pieces or points will you be able to capture if you place one of your chess pieces to a designated cell on the board. Our mega chess case has some interesting rules for queens, rooks, and bishops. When placed on the board, they will capture all the opponent pieces in the corresponding rows or columns or diagonals. You don't need to know full chess rules to solve this case, only the rules for the movement of the pieces, provided in the Pieces tab. There are 6 levels of increasing difficulty and 3 bonus questions. Note that bonus question number 3 will require you to optimize placement of your pieces on the board. The points for this question will be awarded to the player who has a better placement of pieces on the board. Plan your strategy wisely. Good luck!
All right, we are back for our final round here.
Yep, the final two.
Mega chess. What do you think about this one, Oz?
It's heavy. This is it. This is it.
Yeah, another great case. I think we'll see more points scored in this round. It's going to be a lot of fun. Andrew is the designer of this case. Andrew, what were your thoughts going into this case?
Yeah, I'd really love both players to score the maximum points on the 6 levels, and that's also the reason why we're giving a little bit of extra time for them. And to have this decided on the bonus question number 3, that will require the players to, place their 16 chess pieces on the board, on this big board of 10,000 cells, and to score, to capture as many opponent points as possible. So it will be interesting. That's the first time when, and basically the idea is that we're going to be calculating live the value of these points, the value of these pieces captured by each of the players, and they will have some kind of a mini match between themselves for bonus question number 3. And the points, the 150 points, will be awarded based on who gets the most optimal position of their pieces at the last minute, like basically at the final call, at the buzzer.
It's going to make it interesting. Definitely another buzzer.
All right, back to players. Let's see. All right. Y'all been doing push-ups while we were away, getting yourself ready, jumping some rope.
Andrew and Matthew,
they're
do you have any questions? Yeah, they are focused. They're ready. Do you have any questions about this one?
Yeah. Do you know the rules?
I think I do.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm good. Matthew, are you good?
Yeah, I'm not so good, but I think I get
it. All right. So we ready to get going? All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
And here we go. And you'll notice we have 40 minutes on the clock now. We're giving the 10 extra minutes for that bonus challenge that Andrew was referring to, which should be great. And you can also see on their screens this chessboard. This is not a normal chessboard we're looking at here.
All right.
This is a mega chess, as I call it, or really just a giant chessboard with a lot of chess pieces on it. So these levels, again, increase in difficulty. I think we'll see some quick points here for the first few levels. Starting out, it's nice that this challenge starts out a little easier probably than the last one, with counting some chess pieces at the very beginning. Just have to figure out how many of each chess piece is on the board for the first level. And again, in the cells there are those symbols for the chess pieces.
Yeah. A nested if statement with and in there. All right.
Interesting, yeah. We might be going after... Interesting. Might be going after some bonus points here. I'm not sure. Matthew's starting out with.
It might be a good strategy, but it won't bring them the victory, because even if you have bonus question number 1 and 2 correctly, you still need your opponent can still win you on bonus question number 3 and win the game.
Yeah. But definitely a little mixed up in the in how the format, I guess you could say, of this, which is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be fun to see the last bonus challenge as we get into it. Also interesting that Matthew's hidden a lot of the, or he's really grouped and hidden the rows and columns here of the board to just make it smaller. It's an interesting strategy.
That's wise.
And we've got number 1 ranked Andrew Ngai against unranked Matthew Freed, both out of Australia.
Let me just mention that Matthew Freed is actually a very strong player. He's I think at least once or even twice or 3 times model of finalist, and he's really a strong player on the regular tournaments of the International Modeling World Cup. The only reason he's not ranked is because he didn't take all the stages and rank high enough. He's a very strong competitor.
Deceptive. All right. All right.
He's got some experience here, that's for sure.
Yes.
There's still no points on the board, which I am somewhat surprised at.
I think that the guys are going for the bonus questions first to get them fast enough before the opponent, and they are just really trying to, they know they're going to get these easy questions for level 1 and level 2.
All right, 25 for Matthew.
Interesting. So he got level 1. Level 1 is worth 25 points.
Okay.
And you can also see on the bottom right of his screen there, the levels cleared. That'll show that he's completed level 1 as well.
And if you want to try this, if you out there in the audience want to try this, you can download these cases during the live stream.
Just a little background on that strategy. We mentioned that Matthew grouped the rows and columns there. You see he's got a little plus sign at the top and far left of his screen so that he could shrink the board down easily. I think it was basically the idea was he doesn't need to know everything on the board. He's just trying to work out his logic. And if his formulas are working at the extremes, they probably work in the middle too. And so doesn't have to do a bunch of scrolling to deal with the board, which is really quick thinking, I'd say.
Yeah.
I completely agree. That's a smart strategy, because you're absolutely right, Johnny. There's no need until maybe you get to the final rounds and want to see your logic played out a little more, but in these early ones.
Yeah, and this is a really good strategy for when you're doing actual work in Excel, because a lot of people will try to do their work on the whole project. No, take a little piece and get that working.
Yeah, absolutely. And then apply it to the rest.
Yes.
Yeah, two different strategies here, because you can see Andrew has another sheet, just kind of built the grid out. And I'm assuming there's values. I don't know, he's trying to just kind of rebuild a formula for the bonus. I think he's still working on the bonus question.
I was actually hoping to see, I'm curious to see if this plays out, if the players kind of rebuild the board in their own vision. You could take an approach where you stop worrying about rows and columns and try and flatten the board out into just a long list of tables that might help with figuring out how an individual piece lands and impacts other pieces.
Meanwhile, Matthew has level 2 scored as well, but it's not a big lead. It's only like
level 2 is 35 points, so he's total 60. So these are relatively low scoring rounds. Of course, it will come into play at the end, but getting on to level 3 is a little more challenging.
And just for the viewers, I wanted to mention that on level 1, you just need to count the number of pieces. On level 2, you need to assign values to these pieces, where a pawn is 1 point and the queen is 9 points. The other pieces are in there in between.
Yep, king is 0, and the bishop and rook are 3.
Yeah, so it looks like Matthew converted his, because essentially in level 3 you have a list of rows or column, either row numbers or column letters. And so Matthew has a true false column there, a column of Boolean values that are denoting whether that's a number or a letter. And you just have to really do a sum of the entire row or column based on if you have a column letter or row number. So not too challenging. It's still an easy, ranked as an easy level.
And Andrew is on the board with 40 points.
Yeah, that are
so those are bonus.
Yeah,
40 bonus points. Okay, so he's scored. We have 3 levels of bonus points. The first 2 levels are worth 40 and 60. And so Andrew's taken those 40 points. Matthew looks like he's scored some points for level 3, but not all of them. Level 3 is worth 160 points.
And bonus question number 2 is there for Andrew.
Wow. Okay,
that
so Andrew
strategy works.
Yeah. Now he's going to get busy on the rest of the stuff. And we should see Andrew score pretty quickly here with levels 1 and levels 2, I would assume.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of catch back
cleared
up.
level 1, I believe.
Yeah.
He's already there.
And it looks like he's going to clear level 2 quickly here as well.
Yeah.
There's nesting an X lookup inside an if. No. Multiplying an X lookup by an count if.
Yeah. This is the points.
Yeah. This is, guys, the example of as they called one-dimensional solution, where you have just a single formula and you apply that to all the cells in the question. And when you use data tables, that's a two-dimensional solution, but it's kind of more complex and is typically used on the later levels. And it's very important to understand which approach to use, what's going to be more efficient, because when you make data tables, it takes you a little bit of extra time, but they might be more reliable there for these issues.
Right. And so now we see Andrew's, he's cleared the first 2 levels, I believe, perfectly, and he's got the first 2 bonus questions. So that strategy of doing the bonus question first may pay off for him in the end if he's catching up to Matthew.
Yeah, let's because it looks like Andrew's going to solve level 3 here too relatively quickly. Let's take a look at Matthew and see where he's stuck, or he's down on level 4 now. He did not. He doesn't have all the answers for level 3. Oh wait, now he does. Okay, so he's corrected something. Yeah, he is. There's 160 points for level 3. So Matthew has corrected that. He's got all those correct. So he's now moving on to level 4. And this is, I think, level 4 is where things really get much more challenging, because now we're looking at the board and you can see that Matthews has collapsed down there, but we're looking at the board and seeing how pawns move up the board to score points. And so you really kind of have to think through some logic of how the pawns are going to move all the way across the board and kind of
320.
Understand how that's going to work.
Andrew Ngai with 320 points.
Well,
all right,
John, I think that the...
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about level 4.
That was level 5, actually, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, when I was creating this level and tested the answers initially, I actually created a visualization of how do these ones actually move there with all the, paths that they have, and just really trying to manually check a couple of these to see whether the logic works correctly. So it seems to be there, also confirmed by the case testers. And by the way, I just really wanted to thank the whole team of the case creators. It's been like a lot of different people helping us to create the cases throughout the competition, and even more people offering their help to test these cases. So thank you guys.
And you can download these cases for free while we are in the live stream, which has 29 and a half minutes left.
Yeah, so for level 4, I was incorrect on that. That is where we have a piece on the board and a cell location is given, and you have to calculate how many points that piece is going to essentially capture from the opponents.
And apparently it goes down to, let's say, 3 sub-levels, because there are 3 different types of pieces that have different logic there.
Yeah. And different logic, well, slightly different modified logic from a normal chess game, where, for example, the queen will capture all of the pieces in the diagonals and the vertical and horizontal movement on the board. So that's something you also have to factor in.
Yeah. 400 points for Andrew. Oh, yeah. He slipped back.
Oh.
That 400.
It's like it's interesting. He's essentially there's kind of groups there of piece types. So it looks like he's modifying his formulas. So he had the queens, and now he's moving down. Looks like he's got the bishops there. Or no, those are pawns. I'm sorry. Sorry, see on the screen. And there's rooks are after that.
Yeah, and he's putting up a lot of points there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he figured out the logic, and he just had to change some of the inputs there. So we can see.
So that's a new window.
I think that's his scoring window that he's opening up there.
Okay, all right.
Scores in.
It's interesting. That was actually one little trick that Andrew has just corrected. That's provided in one of the cases. They almost specifically placed on the edge of the board, and the formula he was writing was taking into account the piece to the left and the number to the right, which gave a wrong impression. But now it's corrected there.
I ran into that when I was solving this one too.
Oh, look at
you
that.
see this big number, and that makes sense.
Well, it was not that big. I specifically made that so that it kind of implied that there was a queen standing there.
Okay. Tricky. Okay.
And if you didn't know, you'd look in that formula bar that Andrew was doing, and he had the formula all stacked up. You do that with Alt-Enter in Excel so that you can see the pieces of your formula. It's easier to troubleshoot that way.
Yeah, if you'll notice on Andrew's screen, like I was saying, his formula bar is super huge there, which you can do by clicking the little right arrow, or the little arrow on the right side of the screen. But it's a common move when you're writing these big formulas to just give you some more space to make things readable.
Yep.
It is interesting how large it is. Oh, now we're back over to Matthew, and we can see Matthew has still kind of taken that same approach with just these small little grids to work out some logic. It's really interesting. He's just got the groups collapsed and.
Yeah, and so what we're doing right now in level 4, which I believe both competitors are looking at, is they've got they're given a piece, say a knight, and the location where you might put the knight, and then you've got to determine how many points that knight would then acquire with that positioning. So a lot you've got to figure out. You've got to figure out placement on the board, how your piece potentially moves, what pieces it then touches in that movement, and the value of all those pieces. So it's like a 5-step process that they were just kind of flying through casually.
Yeah, very tricky. And it looks like, let's see, Andrew is down onto level 5.
I see that he hasn't submitted points for the horse movements, so it could be trickier than
Oh, no, he's still in 4. Yeah, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
that's right, because he has the bonus. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Let's see.
The knight, yeah.
So I think Andrew's strategy here, just to explain it a little bit more, is he created a duplicate of the board where instead of the pieces, it's the point value for all those pieces. And now he is using this indirect and offset formula to basically pick up the points in the range of movement for the pieces he's got. So that's why he's fairly quickly moving through this, is he's basically doing a chunk of cells for one piece and then moving down to the next piece, say the pawn, and modifying his formula for a pawn's movements.
Yeah, interesting.
And there he's got 500 points now and cleared level 4.
Oh, 520, 300 out in front of Matthew Frieden. This is the final. This is it.
And essentially, the faster he clears all the levels, the more time will he have to optimize for the bonus question number 3.
And again, that bonus question number 3 is the players placing pieces on the board to optimize the number of points that they would take out. And basically, you've got to beat your competitor with their decision on placement of pieces.
And just under 24 minutes left.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how they approach that, assuming they get there. This level 4 seems to be still a bit of a challenge here.
I do like that Matthew has called his section for calculating the knight's moves horsey.
With the smiley face.
C20, yeah.
Love it. Time for a little humor. That's never a bad thing. That's funny.
He seems to be enjoying the competition.
And if you want to join next year, the tickets are available.
Yeah, and the faster you buy that, the faster you commit to competing next year, the more time you have for the preparation.
That's right.
Yeah, and I was also reading the fine print of the rule book here that if it comes down to series of ties, that the person that joins first actually could be that could determine the tiebreaker. So get your tickets now.
Yeah, but again, guys, that's really when we don't really have any other basis for the we really try to go for
Hey, but it's cool that you got to figure it out somehow, right? And I like that you've thought it all the way through to that point. So that's awesome. But yeah, definitely get involved in this. If you think you can compete here and want to be one of the world's best at Excel, this is the place. So get involved and head over to the FMWC, grab the case files. You can download them now and start practicing. You see Andrew here. Looks like he's probably working out some type of data table.
Yeah, so Andrew's on level 5, which is trying to work out how many points a pawn will get. And in this game, the pawn's movement is to work their way up the board, sort of going diagonally where they can to take out an opponent's piece and then keep moving up. When I had read this case, I actually thought level 5 was a more complex problem to solve than level 6, where you're just dealing with the queens and rooks and bishops, because you don't really have to think too much about the path to carry. So I was expecting to see either of our players jump to level 6 and then come back to level 5.
It's a great point, Johnny, because this, not only are the pieces moving, but there are additional rules here that the players have to follow. So that if there's a king, the pawn can go left or right to attack a cell, well, in this case, a cell or an opponent. But if there's a king available, then that takes priority. If the piece that gives more points, that's the one you choose, so you take priority there. So you really have to think through some logic. And if there's a tie, you have to go left. And then you also don't want to move off the board, right? So you have to create boundaries around the board. There's just a lot of rules here to follow to make this all happen. It's very challenging.
Might be another trick there, because people usually assume that level 6 is harder than level 5, but it says that both levels are hard but not very hard, right? So that's the same level of complexity there, and you get points for level 6.
We got the let function in happening.
Yeah, so let, the newer feature in Excel, lets you kind of define a variable name within your formula. So if you know you're going to be referencing the same set of cells or the same calculation over and over again, rather than having that same long sequence in your formula over and over again, you can actually just give it a nice little neat name, just like you kind of would with the name manager that we referenced earlier. But this is all contained within your formula. It can also help if you're kind of repeating it over and over again. Copy and paste your formula and just change your definition of one of your variables to do the exact same calculation.
It's great to see the players using all these new functions as well. I love seeing this. And if you are on an older version of Excel and haven't seen these functions yet, do everything you can to get a new version of Excel, because as we've seen today, we're looking at dynamic arrays being used here, the let function, and some incredibly powerful new features of Excel that can help with not just solving these crazy games like this, but really everyday Excel scenarios. Every day. It really changed the game on how easy it is now to do things like create a list of unique values or filter a range for values, and where you might used to have to use some kind of crazy VLOOKUP and all that stuff. So really changed the game.
And a reminder, you can go out and to office.com and try Excel, the online browser version. All these new features end up there as well. So you could be playing with dynamic arrays and XLOOKUP and let and all that kind of good stuff. Free version of Excel out on the web.
Great point, Johnny. I was forgetting about that. Yeah. So Matthew here is still struggling with level 4, and it is a tough level for sure. I think too, to me the toughest of each to solve is the first set of queens there. That to me is the toughest logic, and then gets a little bit easier with the pawns and the knights. So I think once you kind of solve for the queens, and it looks like he might be doing it here, he can get solved for the other ones a little easier. Well, might be off
if you use the offset function there, it's going to be very easy. You just go offset, make a range plus 1 row, less 1 row, and less 1 column, and 3, and that's going to work perfectly for you.
Yeah, looks like he got it. 420. Yep. So right now we're tied. Well, I shouldn't say we're tied, but essentially Andrew has the bonus points, 100 bonus points. That's got him out in front, and both players are on level 5 now.
Yep, with Andrew's 17 and a half minutes left.
17 and a half to go. Andrew's got a head start on level 5 here. He's been working at it a few minutes. See some spill ranges down there, or some spill errors down at the bottom there. Another new a new feature, and also a new error in Excel. It's not always a fun one, but definitely one that you can clean up.
100-point difference. This is the final 2.
Yeah. We come down to the wire.
It's this slow grind.
And just a reminder that they haven't started bonus question number 3. That's going to bring them 150 points. And that's solvable as easy as just, even if you drop all your pieces into cell A1, that's going to give you at least some points.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Considering Andrew in the last round had put passes in everywhere, I was expecting him to just get something in on that bonus question so that he'd get points, even if he has to come back to it later.
Oh, Andrew, 718.
Wow.
Oh, Level 5 is worth 220.
He got 2 answers wrong, the first one and the last one. And something is clearly wrong with his answers there.
16 minutes. 16 minutes.
16 to go.
Here.
This could be a case where one of those pieces is moved off the board.
That's what I think. First question, the piece is in column A. The second question, it's in column C. Or the last question, it's in column C. I wonder if his logic moves the pawn off the board on some of those diagonal moves.
Yeah. Was that all, Andrew, was that also part, when designing this case, was that part of your plan here to make that first one a challenge? Because it really is.
Yeah, of course. If you're at the edge of the board, there is only one way for you where to go. You can't really go off the board, and that's probably exactly what Andrew did for his pawn on in game number 51, the one that's on A99, I think.
And it's not necessarily evil, because you actually have to build in all of that logic right off the start. So, and it does come into play in other rounds there. So
I don't know if it's not evil. No, you go. No, what you do is you go to the draw tab and take one of those pens and draw a villain mustache on that picture of Andrew.
That'll motivate you, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Matthew took the other approach. He put a smiley face on his.
Right, yeah.
With his horsey category. So
I'm trying to keep a positive outlook here, Oz.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Andrew has just scored he got the pawns back to the board and got
740. Yeah.
2 questions. Yeah. So he's there. It's level 6 for him now.
Yeah. So moving on to level 6. Johnny, what do you think about level 6 here?
I think Andrew's gonna blow through this pretty quickly, if I'm being honest. So level 6, again, you're kind of doing the same logic of figuring out how many points a piece will pick up by your placement, but it's just our rooks, bishops, and queens, which can go all over the board. Rooks wiping out an entire column and an entire row, bishops moving diagonally. Yeah, so I think if you can work out your logic here, which I expect Andrew will do pretty quickly since he flew through the other pieces, I think a trick to spot is that basically a queen's movement is a rook's movement plus a bishop's movement. So if you've done the first 2 sections, you'll be able to just combine your formulas and quickly score the queens.
Wow.
That's a really good point. That you can just add your logic together to get the queen. Queen has all the power.
Right.
And he did the first bunch of points there.
Look at that. That was you're right, Johnny. That was very quick.
There you go. Yeah, Andrew did it faster than I could say he's going to do it fast.
He did.
Well, I think it's a bit easier for the rooks. It could be more difficult for the bishops because it's easy to make a vertical or horizontal sum. It's much more difficult to make a diagonal sum.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
12 and a half minutes left. Matthew's still in it.
And when we say diagonal sum for the viewers, they essentially has to figure out how to go up one cell, over one cell. Like you can see the orange cells on the board there. If we're moving diagonally across those, you have to figure out how to look up the values in each of those cells, or look up the pieces that are in those cells and then convert those to points. So, and as we said, the bishop can move in all directions, so that makes it all diagonal directions, so that makes it a challenge.
And while it looks like the game is really towards Andrew's dominance right now, with 11 minutes, almost 12 minutes left on the clock, I think that Matthew still has the potential to score level 5, and if he does that, then level 6 should be doable for him as well.
Yeah.
Or at least, and then it's all down to the 150 points for the bonus number 3.
Yeah, I think the tough spot Matthew might find himself in is if Andrew is able to score level 6 quickly, he's got a lot of time to really optimize that bonus question.
Exactly. So that's where you get in front of your opponent. So it really depends whether you have like 2 minutes just to drop some random numbers or random locations, or you have like 10 minutes to significantly optimize the location of your pieces.
Just saw Andrew on his shortcuts there hit Control S. That is an important one. Save your work at this point. You don't want to lose this thing. He's got his if statement going against the entire grid there.
Really interested to see how both competitors work out the logic for moving diagonally.
Seems that he has some helper tabs, not even helper cells or helper columns. These are helper tabs for him.
Got the large functioning happening.
Yeah, the offset function really comes into play on this one. Definitely a good one to know. The offset allows you to move the number of cells, well, essentially rows and columns that you want to move left, right, up, and down. And reference the cell, the target or the destination cell. So
he's thinking. Look at it.
Yeah, Andrew. Let's see, Andrews has 836 points now.
One other thing I'll note on Matthew's screen, if you see he's got those example boards that he's copied and pasted there, you'll note under the labels A, B, C, U, C, V, he's got numbers. I assume what he's done there is basically not worry about column letters and treat the columns as numbers so that he can just use mathematical logic to navigate the board. I think is a helpful strategy than trying to figure out math on one column less than B.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're inserting rows and columns in front of the grid. Yeah. The other
columns, stretch it out.
Is the match function, but you're right. You then have to write the match function a lot to return the row, or I'm sorry, the column number. Do a lot more lookups. So yeah, it's good logic. So Andrew has his level 6. I think he's. For some reason, he might have some level 5 answers incorrect.
8 minutes left.
No, actually, Andrew has all the answers correct for basically all the levels. Yeah, and also the 2 bonus questions for him. So he really is very comfortable in the lead. And he solved the first part, well, the easier part of level 6.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, yes, I see that on the bottom right now. Okay, so he's moved through level 6.
Yeah, so at this point it looks like if he's capable to solve this level up to the end, it's going to be 240 points extra, and even if Matthew gets to complete level 5 and get the easier points on level 6, even if he solves the bonus question number 3, you know, better than Andrew, it's not going to be enough for him to win today. Yeah, the odds are really towards Andrew at this point.
Yeah.
7 minutes left to determine who our champion is gonna be.
Looks like Matthew. What is Matthew doing with this L?
He's trying to see the location of the possible moves there, whether there is something on the left, to the top left of the pawn, to the top right of the pawn, or if nothing, then it's going to be moving forward.
Just the center, okay, left, center, right.
Yeah, that's center,
gotcha.
Yeah.
9:44 for Andrew, extending the lead.
Yeah, he's working through level 6 there.
And as he got the bishops correctly, then it's going to be, in no time, he's going to be getting the queens correct as well.
Yeah, I might just have a few minutes to get some bonus questions.
And actually, the best thing for taking part in the competition this year or next year is the fact that you're going to get all these cases, all these questions with all the answers as a part of the, of the ticket, basically. So even if you don't even make it through the qualification round, you still get the full package of 12 cases. To do now is to place the gets more, he gets the 150, regular points, and that decides the winner.
Really smart strategy here.
Less than 2 minutes left.
I think Johnny, you alluded to that earlier when he did that in a previous round, and they're doing the same thing.
Now
I
Andrew
was
starts to
expecting to see it
optimize.
right from the start with him, but no shock to see Andrew do it now. Again, for viewers just coming in, you're in the final minute and a half here of the Excel World Championship, and you're watching Andrew Ngai basically pitching a perfect game here, going for the last set of questions. Still unclear what Matthew, how many more points he can eke out, but it is going to be kind of Andrew pulling away here, unless something really incredible happens that we're missing as far as what Matthew's able to work out in these last 60 seconds.
Yeah, almost.
Yep, we almost have our champion.
Almost have our champion here. Yeah. Yep. Wow, it's great to see. Yeah. I also thought it was interesting how quickly Andrew read the rules for bonus number 3 and got to work on that. Probably like 20 seconds there. So
yeah,
really quick on his feet to figure these things out and
it's
get at it.
Yeah, that's and that's part of the challenge too, is understanding the instructions and getting started.
That's been a big one for me, and just trying out these cases as I don't read the rules clearly.
You learned that in grade school, John. You're supposed to read the problems all the way through.
Yeah. With 10 seconds left, just 10 seconds left.
Andrew and Matthew, they started competing at 4 a.m. their time.
5 seconds. 5 seconds. And time. All right. We got our champion. Congratulations, Andrew Ngai, number 1 seeded, and our champion.
Yeah, great to see him take home the win today in the Microsoft Excel World Championship, beating out Matthew Freed, both of these players from Australia, representing their home country. And like Johnny just mentioned, early morning start for them. So cool to see them. That's when I'm my best in Excel, so could be an advantage.
All right. Congratulations, Andrew.
Thank you.
What do you have to say?
Yeah, that was a really interesting and fun case. But yeah, it was it was a great battle, and I think I'm lucky that I made it past Brittany's round, especially. But yeah, I guess that's how these half-hour cases work sometimes. But yeah, thanks for everyone who organized. You guys did a great job. Wonderful cases, and congrats to Matthew and everyone else as well. You guys did really well as well, and took down Dim as well, which probably helped me.
Yeah, this was something. Round 2 was a nail biter, and this one was a grind. You really had to think.
Yeah, Matthew, how was that case for you? It looks like you got kind of held up on level 4 there, or level 5.
Yeah, well, first congrats to Andrew. I think he's proved himself definitely to be the best there. But not sure I had quite as much fun as Andrew on that question 5. Just hit a roadblock, and as always, with about a minute to go, you think of a brand new solution that would have been great if I thought of it, 25 minutes earlier. But that's how these things go. So happy to make the final.
Yeah, great job to both of you. That is the challenge with these, is the time. And that's one thing, it's when you're a viewer, you don't realize, but getting this all done in 30 minutes or 40 minutes is really, really challenging.
Yes, it is, but you did it, and we got a champion. Yeah.
Johnny, what do you think about this Excel World Championship and witnessing this today?
Well, I'm just in awe. I'll tell you, I don't think I'm going to be trying to compete next year, because I could not go anywhere near the competitors we saw today. Just impressive work from everyone all around. and cool cases. So even if you don't think you can win, these are great problems to just go think about, play around, and learn Excel. So I invite everyone out there to go test them out and try and up your skill. And with a little bit of time, maybe you become the next Matthew or Andrew or Brittany or anyone else we've seen on here, just kind of crushing these cases.
And interesting, Andrew actually has defended his title. Yeah. Amazing. So the belt stays with Andrew.
Incredible. So Andrew Rubinovic, what do we have coming up in the future for this? Who's going to be competing against Andrew Ngai here?
So, well, Andrew has just won Andrew is the only winner of these World Championships because it's only the second year that the competition takes place. So I really want more people joining the competition next year, trying to beat Andrew. And amazingly, that's the format as such actually was designed in a way that there is some, part of luck there. And I really adore the strength of Andrew, the class that he passes through most of his opponents and gets lucky as well.
Yeah.
Going past Brittany.
yeah. Because yes, he's not infallible, right? There's some skill and some luck.
Exactly.
All right, well, thank you, and congratulations again to both of you, and congratulations again to Andrew for defending the title. Thank you.
Fantastic work all around.
Wow. A champion.
Amazing. Yeah, that was a fun day of competition. Started off with the quarterfinals there, where we started off with 16 players, and that was a heated battle there too. Took it down to the semifinals. The quarterfinals was our voting game. The semifinals was the card game 500, which was also a challenge, but we saw Andrew just barely beat out Brittany.
Oh.
And the last few seconds, it was an incredible battle. And Matthew Freed took the win there as well. And then for our final, which we just saw with our chess game, our mega chess game, Andrew definitely took the lead there pretty early and just took it home and solved everything he could. It was a fun case for him, in his words. And that was a great case that a case designer Andrew came up with. So thank you for that, and a great day of competition from all of our competitors.
Thank you, John. These are great words, and I'd like to say great thanks to everybody involved in organizing the competition, because really it's a huge amount of work here, and it's a huge efforts by the team, really, by Max, Emils, Nora, Dana, Sheikhan, like all the guys did a great job, and we're really thankful to Microsoft for supporting this event and supporting Financial Modeling World Cup over the last years. So these are great events, more are coming, and thank you guys.
Yep, thank you, and thanks for having me back as a host. I really enjoy this.
We really enjoyed you, awesome.
All right. Yep. It's been good. Been intense.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks to FMWC and Microsoft again for sponsoring. It's been an amazing event, and we look forward to seeing you all in the next one. So again, get involved in this. Go to FMWC's website, get involved, sign up for the next one next year, download the cases, and take this on as a challenge. You'll learn a ton about Excel, and it will definitely help you in your career as well.
Yeah, and maybe you can take that belt away from Andrew Ngai.
There it is.
We want all the Excel fans out there coming out and competing and showing Andrew if he's really the boss or not. Thank you all for reviewing and get active.
Right. Thank you. All right. And we will see you next time.